Good morning, everybody. Anybody out there today? What are we? We are, there we go, 20 to 5. I've been up since, I don't know, before 4 anyway. Although I did have a really good sleep before that, so that was really good. But it's not happening again now, so I thought I'll come out and I'll do a bit of stitchy, have a drink, wandered about a bit, and it's like, no, it's not happening, so we may as well do a live and see if anyone's out there with the same problem. So today, because it's quite early, you could be up for whatever reason. Let's just get that a little bit more, there we go. I'm just tacking no, not hexes, what am I on about? Blech, Dresden plates. Because I did a runner that I put out on Sunday Live on the Three Amigos, just gone, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody. Which was Dresden based. And I was happily sat there doing this live and showing it and talking about it. And then I thought, partway through, what would it look like if you had several of these runners put together as a quilt? I quite like that idea. So that after the live, I always try to prep something that I can have in the house to be doing, yeah. So after the live, I found out a whole load of fabrics, cut a few more papers because I'd thrown a lot of them away. I do reuse my papers lots, I have to say. You can see there's holes, I don't know if you can. There's holes all in this one where it's been used a couple of times before. So I thought, that'll do. Got all these fabrics together. What I tend to do is just pin the paper on the back of a piece of fabric and chop a size-ish. And then I came indoors with all this pile of scraps and stuff. And the other night I sat and shaped them all, like so. Now I'm just tacking them on. So I'm thinking possibly 4 of these runners now and put them together. What size will that give me? That would be me, because they're about 10 inches wide each, with 2 inches in between. So what's that? So that's 40. It'll be about 52 wide and 64 long, which will be a nice size quilt, I reckon. Might put a border on it, might not need it though, I don't think, because the what was a border on the runner will become a sashing in the quilt, and it's quite a dominant sort of looking fabric, so I don't think it will need another border, but we'll wait and see. What I could do is put the runner that I've done in the centre of the quilt, and then just change the border on the two ends to be something thicker, so that it becomes an outside border as opposed to a round border, if you see what I mean. So anyway, that's a problem that's a long way off. I've got to do a lot of Dresdens before then. There's 57 Dresden petals in each runner and 8 circles. And I'm thinking, as I say, I probably need at least another 3 of them. So you're talking another 171, no, 742, yeah, 171-ish Dresdens to do. And then to sew them together. And then to applique them onto the background. But when I'm sat here and I've got nothing much more to do, I like easy things through the night. I'm not into doing anything that needs a lot of brain power. So yeah, it'll be done before I know it, really. It's just one of those little projects that will tickle along, a bit like your hexes. I've told people before, and I've done demos and all the rest of it, of how I tack these around papers to get a real smooth edge. And you see around there, there's absolutely no pointy bits. I can't be doing with pointy bits on my Dresden. So I actually, I'll show you. I get to the end, and then I start poking it under my nail, which I've not got, because look, I broke it off. My nails get used as tools constantly, if only for finger pressing and the like. I've got a lovely finger presser, but I still use my nails, and then I break them for a pastime, really. Right, so you get to that corner, and you fold that one in. Alright, so hold him folded in. Make sure your tacking goes through all the layers. Then, holding that one, you put that under your nail there. I don't know if you can see that there's a little pucker coming up there. So then you hold that with the other thumb. And you stitch. Now, these are small little stitches. Another pucker, hold it. Stitch it. So you can do this if you've got no nails. Somebody said to me, oh, you can't do that, I ain't got any nails. It takes a little bit more time, but you can. So that's pulling that to one side, and it's poking through there. There we go, pull it to one side and tack it. People think I'm a bit nuts with this one, but I have a thing about my Dresden have to have a smooth curve. So as you work your way round, you hold it, you're pushing it under your nail, pushing it in so that you get a nice bit underneath here. Alright, and then you pull it away if you get your pucker, as it were. I don't know if you can see those puckers are coming out. I'll show it up close in a sec. And you just keep going across. As I say, small stitches is the key here. Lots of little puckers, small stitches. Also, when I'm doing this, your 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way round. Mine is always a bit bigger. If you leave it to 1/4 inch, yes, you can, it's fine. And it's ideal and it's lovely. But do you know what? It makes tacking and doing more difficult. So I tend to go slightly bigger than a 1/4 inch. Right, now if I hold that way, you can see those little puckers. Yeah. There we go. Smooth edge. Once you've ironed that, it'll be absolutely fine. They'll disappear. If you feel you've got too much fabric there, well then you can trim it. But it made life easier to have it that slightly bit bigger, the seam allowance. If you have it too small, what tends to happen is you pull it this side and you'll tack, tack, tack. When you get to this side, it kind of slipped and you land up with like a lopsided little bit, and it gets fiddly and a pain in the bottom. So don't do it. It's easier. Give yourself a bit more. Makes life so much easier. As for you using glue and things, I know some people prefer to do that. Very difficult to get that edge. Can't be faffing around with that. Far too much hassle for me. I mean, this one hasn't taken me long, and I've been demoing and explaining it. When you get going, it doesn't take long to do them by hand. And it's all part of the process, I think. I like traditional sometimes. Well, most times, actually. My designs might look a bit weirder than others, but I still like the techniques to be more traditional, even though I will play with weirdness. I'll just go over myself a couple of times at that end. I never knot it off. I just tie it. Oh, I don't tie it. go over myself, as I say. And then when you take that tacking out, once you've joined, that all flips out really easy. You flip it from that end a little bit and then just pull the knot, and out it all comes. I'm probably telling you what you already know, but there we are. Love a Dresden. Let's put a knot in there. There we go. Next one. And this particular quilt, because it is going to be a quilt now, as I say, I did the runner. Every single bit of fabric or Dresden within the first initial runner was different. I think this second one is completely different to the first one. I'm not sure, because I wasn't really paying attention. But I just went through a different tub of scraps. So I'm hoping that everyone's different. If they're repeated, they're repeated. But it's a bit scary because I've got so many scraps. I could carry on doing this for years and never repeat myself, I think. But, I don't know if anyone was watching yesterday, or at least keeping an eye on my page. I'd been cutting charm packs, sort of 10 by 3 charm packs, and there was quite a few offcuts. Only little thin slithery ones, maybe 1 inch, 2 inch, 1/2 inch wide, but quite long. And so I put out there, did anybody want it? Because I know there's a lot of you do crumb quilts and that sort of stuff, or a bit of embellishment or whatever, and it's always nice to have a bit of different fabric in. So I said, did anybody want it? 19 of you within a couple of hours. I'm like, oh my God. I just thought, oh, maybe 1 or 2 people might think they want that. And so I landed up having to do a number selection, because there were so many of you. I didn't think it fair just to chuck it out there in the end when there were so many. And there was still a couple of people afterwards asked me as well. So anyway, so I did I don't know if you saw a little recording of, I did like a random number selector online. I figured that's the fairest way, then I've got nothing to do with who it was. So Marie Moss won that yesterday, so that'll be going in the post to her. Hopefully I'm going to get to the post office today. I didn't get there yesterday, which I should have, but I didn't. So I'm going to do that today. So, yeah, so it's a nice little package off to somebody. Do you know it weighs a ton? The offcuts. I was quite surprised. What I think I must have to do in future is possibly split them into more than one. Morning, Kim. What are you doing up, darling? It's just come up to say that you're watching. Hello, dar. Good morning. I'm just wittering about Dresdens here. Hang on. Put my needle away a minute. Find a new needle. That one there. I always thread up a couple before I sit and start and witter at you. Makes life easier. I was just saying that I'm doing a load more Dresden, ready to add to that runner I did on Sunday. To see can we make it into a quilt, because I'm quite liking that idea. Oh, and then the other thing yesterday. I'm wide awake. Yeah, so am I. Get yourself some stitching. Don't be wasting the time. Yesterday, not that any much of you on my Facebook page would know, it was my birthday, and I was old, well, older anyway, and I had a lovely day. I was teaching most of the day, but talk about flowers and plants everywhere. It was fabulous, and this great big pot arrived, all wrapped up. Thank you, Margaret. And she's like, oh, well, you can use it inside or outside, whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right, so what's that then? So me being me, no ceremony about it, ripped it all open. And there's this fabulous plant pot that's got sunflowers all over it. You could use it as a bin, but I shall go and find a nice plant. I'm not overly successful with actually growing sunflowers, so I'm going to go and see, can I find something else to put in this pot. It's absolutely fabulous. It's got bright sunflowers all over it. It's like ideal. If I thought I needed a bin indoors, it would be indoors, but I don't, so it's going to go outside. But it was lovely. So yeah, loads of flowers. It was really good. Really good. Yeah. So, and my chef's hats, little hanging thing that I did last week. I'll keep looking at it and looking at it and think, oh, if I've got time, I'm going to do it in black and whites with grey backgrounds. I think that will look absolutely fab. It's finding the time to do all these things. I have more than enough ideas to keep me going for several lifetimes. There we go. So you can do my under the nail trick. Glad you had a lovely day. Thank you, Kim. I did. We went out for something to eat in the evening, just to the local, I want to say like pub chain type thing. So that was quite nice. Don't often go out like that, unless I'm at a show. If I'm at a quilt show or on my way to give a talk or something, or a class, I don't normally eat out as such. So that was really nice. I had a lovely day yesterday. So those of you that wish me well, thank you. There we go. Robbie in Exeter, good morning. Hello. Do you know, Facebook is weird. Sometimes it pops up who's here. Sometimes it pops up comments, and other times I don't get anything. Good morning. Good morning. Another one of us up when we probably should be sleeping. I don't know. Where's my scissors gone? There's my scissors. You should see me sat here. It's really quite funny. I ought to get Paul. Well, no, he's never awake. He's always asleep at this time. I sit here in the corner of the front room. I've got my little lamp on beside me. Nothing else. Whopping great quilt. Those of you that were at retreats and things will recognise this one. On a fleece. It's lovely. It's just gorgeously warm. So yeah, I'm trying to find the edge for you. Fleece. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So I've got that on me. I've got a pair of glasses that are like pebble dash, because, well, you know, pebble treble jobs. And I've got this thing round my neck that holds my phone as a camera. And I must look an absolute fright if anybody ever actually saw it. I haven't got my stripy pyjamas on tonight, though. I just got me blue on. Those of you that came to the air retreat will know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my stripy pyjamas. Because we had a pyjama party up there. That was hysterical. We had great fun. We applique decoration on furry hot water bottle covers. We all had a hot water bottle. It was great fun. And a couple of drinks, although I think most of us were so tired we landed up not drinking an awful lot at all. We didn't need to. We had a lovely time. We like pyjama parties. Maybe we should do that at the Basingstoke retreat. Can you imagine everybody coming down into the sewing room in their pyjamas in a hotel? We were all wandering around there in our pyjamas and our dressing gowns, and we really didn't care. All sorts of nicely weird slippers and stuff going on. It was lovely. Yeah, a bit of fun. I hasten to say that the pyjama party wasn't at 4 o'clock in the morning like this one. We did that in the evening after dinner. It was quite cool. Yeah, there we are. We had pussycats and moons and hearts and things all over these big furry hot water house. There we go. Good fun. Oh, that one went wrong. Look, I went round it instead of... Oh, never mind, it matter. There we go. It was fun, Kim. It was fun. I can imagine you lot at Basingstoke. Can you imagine 30-plus ladies wandering around in their pyjamas? I can't think what Andy had on his now they were hysterical. We did. We enjoyed ourselves. And I know damn well that in Basingstoke there would be lots of nice big glasses of wine and things going on, I should imagine. I hasten to add, we do not use sewing machines for pyjama parties. They are a hand-stitch thing only. Yeah, it would be funny, actually. Do you know, talking about retreats, Kim will know this, I don't know about anybody else, but the Basingstoke retreat for next year is fully booked. Maybe invite Janet. Oh my God, Janet would be hysterical in that. Can you imagine? She'd be telling us all off. Janet, for those that don't know, was the lady in the restaurant who had the most amazing sense of humour and told it as it was, basically. And told you off. And, yeah, it was hysterical. She's lovely. That would be hysterical. But, the Basingstoke retreat, everybody rebooked, which was absolutely amazing. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to do 2 Basingstoke next year, back to back. So the second Basingstoke, we've already got quite a few people on. So if you want to come and join us for a few days sewing and friendship and fun and laughter. Yeah, she was hysterical, wasn't she, Kim? She was lovely. All the staff were lovely, I have to say. Anyone that I came across anyway. But do you know what? We've got 4 venues now for our retreats. 3 of them we've done. Newcastle's going to be a new one later in the year if anyone wants to join us. But the 3 venues that we've used so far, the staff have been amazing. I certainly up at I'm going to say up at Air. The venue itself, I think, has got a fairly not the best reputation. But it was amazing. And I have to say, whoever's been there before, I can't help thinking that the reviews and things that they've put on, they're just trying to get money back. Because absolutely spotless. Yes, it's an older venue, but it was spotless. The staff was so helpful. The sewing room was amazing. I think it's got a hard done by. I mean, all the venues aren't the newest, but they're clean, they're comfortable, and what's most important to us is that the sewing room's good. If we've got a good sewing room, we'll go for it. So, do come and join us at any of our retreats. And more to the point, we have a giggle. Or at least I do, anyway. I think majority of people do. It's good. It's good. Come and play. Make it part of another holiday, even if you fancy going up to Scotland. What you could do is like I do. You could go up and have your stitch in 3 days or whatever, and then move on and do something else as a bit of a holiday. When I got there, we go to the Glasgow Quilt Show first. Then we go across to the sewing retreat and do the sewing retreat. And then I go on up to Pitlochry to see family. So, yes, it's a long way. People say, oh, it's a long way. But combine it with something else. Fabulous time. It's amazing scenery and stuff up there. It's lovely. Right, now here comes the funny bit. I've got to thread a needle. If I can unthread this bit. There we go. Right, now, this is always quite amusing when I'm sat here with this round my neck. I use any old thread up. I think this is actually a polyester, which is probably why I'm using it. Is it? It's a cheap and cheerful have. Oh no, it's Egyptian cotton. YLI even. There you go. Oh dear, that's an expensive one even. But I know it's fairly old, so I'm using that up. Now, can I or not thread this needle? It is a little needle. I like using little needles. There we go. That's that done. Knot, and away we go again. See, sit quietly and nattering and doing, and before you know it, look, you've got a whole heap of these done. That's great. Oh look, I was probably checking something online with Julia and checking spelling. Look. I'll write on anything. And then about 3 days later, I'm like, what did I do with that? Where is it? And I'll find a phone number. And I've not put a name or a Y. Or I've got a name and a number and I think, who the hell's that Y? Because my brain, it's one of those lies we tell ourselves. Oh, remember that. No, you won't. I am now quietly learning to actually write a reason next to people's names because I'm just hopeless. Yeah, so there we go. Pull over the corner through all the layers and then around we go with the little pleaty bits. So, Kim, if you're still out there, what are you doing? Have you got your stitching out? There's a couple of you on watching. What are we doing out there? Are we stitching? Are we getting up? Are we breakfasting? Oh, itch, excuse me. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. I might do a little video tomorrow and show all of the plants and flowers, hundreds of them. Morning, Rosemary. Look, obviously this was a scrap. It's coming in really tight there now. If you did a 1/4 of an inch turn, that's where you'd be and you'd be fiddling it. Hence, that's why I generally cut them big and trim if I need to. 9 times out of 10, I don't bother trimming. Especially seeing as I don't generally quilt my quilts anymore. I give them to somebody else to do that. I haven't got time. So it doesn't become my problem if I've got a large seam allowance turned in everywhere. Morning, Rosemary. Nice of you to join us. That's lovely. Yeah, there we go. It's very odd. As I said earlier, Facebook, I never know. Sometimes it tells me who's out there, other times it doesn't. Sometimes it tells you after the event. It was like Sunday when I was doing my live. I didn't get anything. Normally you get all sorts of comments and stuff going on, which were happening, but I couldn't see any of them. Couldn't see any of them, but there we are. Such is weirdness in this life. Those of you that are sort of finding me on live now, I don't know if you know, but I have got a group on Facebook called Insomni-quilting, where I put all of my natterings and stuff after the event. And you're welcome to join us over there. And, you know, if you're up in the middle of the night, you never know who else is if you need to chat to somebody. It's always worth a quick hello. It's sort of growing a little bit. I just did it for the few of us that were always on in the night. But I think there's over 100 members now, which is quite frightening, really. That's quite a big percentage of people, isn't it? Oh, look at this nice bright one. Oh, that's a bit jolly. Like that. What's the time anyway? Oh, God, it's 5:10 already. So this is going to be my last one. Kim, yes, I'm still here. I've made a drink and thinking. Oh, dear, careful. That's overrated thinking, I'm sorry. I've got lots of things to do, but on machine. I'm trying to finish a piece of red work for our up-and-coming group exhibition in July. Well, an ideal time to do a bit of red work then, isn't it? Ideal. So whose design is that? Your own or somebody else's, or what? That's the next question. Like a bit of red work, like a little bit of handwork. And do you know, I love it. If I'm teaching and Rosemary on the airy tree, I have to say, I think is a bit of a convertee. I love it if I'm in group or class or doing something, or I can get somebody for a change to do a little bit of handwork instead of machine, and they get converted, because there's nothing wrong with a little bit of hand stuff, I have to say. I think it's really, really good. Really good. Do a little bit of hand, and it's therapy. And also, you know, I tend to do most of mine when I'm sat watching telly, or Paul's sat watching it, more to the point. I'm usually paying attention to what I do and listen. I don't tend to watch a lot of TV, but I do listen. But a convertee to handwork is just fabulous. I like to try, if I can, when I start people off, students, to do hand work. You get far more skills initially, and then convert to machine work if you want. Nursery rhyme, Mary Had a Little Lamb, which I found online. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice idea, Kim. I like that. So, tell me, where is your exhibition, and when? Or tell everybody in July, because if they're around and near you, they might want to come and have a look. That's another one I bang on about quite often, is support your local little quilt shows and group shows and whatever else. Be proud of what you've all done. There's a lot out there that now, for whatever reason, can't get to big quilt shows, or maybe don't go. So to go to a nice local show and find like-minded people, it's fabulous. Like our little one we put on in Basingstoke, that was funny. I enjoyed doing that. We, for those that don't know, the Three Amigos put on a quilt show in Basingstoke, just a one-day sort of thing. And it was all our own work. But what was really scary is we just brought what was around. We didn't even sort of dig around for quilts and things. We just grabbed the first things that we saw and put on a quilt show. You've no idea how much more, or how many more quilts I've got that I've done over the years that are sort of stashed. It's just scary. So we're going to do another one next year, and I'll just pull a few different ones out. Yeah, it's a bit naughty, really. I keep all my quilts, or most of my quilts, because you'd be amazed how they come in for teaching. And if I do a talk, or a group or something, I take a whole load with me. And it sort of documents my journey through patchwork. Oh, look at that lovely one. Now, that fabric is the sashing around the original runner that I did last week. Near Gloucester, it's Shipton Quilters. We are holding in Brockworth. First weekend in July. We'll send fly when I go. Yes, please do. That's lovely. So if anyone's around, they can come and have a little look. I'll stick that in my diary tomorrow, because, well, later in the day, I should say. Because you never know where the hell I am. If I'm in the area and I know that there's a quilt show on, I will just have a wander in, as a lot of the ladies have found out over the last few years. If I'm near and I can, I will come and support. I always try to visit. We like to do that. And I tell you what I do love is going to the local shows as trader. And you get to natter to everybody and see what's going on and catch up. I just love it. Yeah, local trader is really good fun. I say local, I'll go anywhere and do it, but it's a whole different beast to a big quilt show. I just love them. Love them. Right, I said the last one was going to be the last one, but this is going to be the last one, and then I'm going to have a little drink, and I'm going to have a go back to bed for an hour before I have to get up and do stuff. So today's do stuff, I chucked a load, I cut up a load of fabrics last week for the chef's hats. And yesterday during class, the ladies were sort of getting on with what they were doing, and they weren't necessarily in need of me. We were yapping. So I chopped them up into 5-inch squares and started just whacking them together. I might finish that because actually, as a pack, I'm liking it. It's all the weird new fabrics that I got last week from Macau. And I've literally chucked all sorts of everything together to see what would happen, as in for the chef's hats, but it's the same ones. And I've just done 5-inch squares, and it's lovely. Have a good day, and thanks for coming. Yeah, thank you, Kim, for yapping and doing, and have a lovely, lovely day, darling. Right, we're just about done this one. Yeah, and as I say, I'm coming up to the end here, and I'm going to go off. So, everyone that has watched and joined me, thank you so much. Wittering me head off here. Honestly, if anyone saw me properly here, you'd all know, they'd think I was like certifiable, which I probably am in truth. Aren't we all? Right, do that. There we go. I'm done with that for now. How many of them did I get done in the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. I mean, that's not bad, is it? Just sat here wittering. Have a lovely day, everybody. See you on the next one sometime. Bye.